Hello, welcome to Beyond the Pages. My name is Penny Cothran. I am the Multimedia Manager at South Carolina Chamber of Commerce, as well as the editor of South Carolina Business Magazine. And with me today is Lou Kennedy, who is with Nephron Pharmaceuticals. Lou, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I have a couple of questions I think our readers would be interested in, and the first part, I would like to learn more about you. Okay. So tell me about Lou. Where did you get your name?
So my parents wanted a boy. I'm an only child. I had a blue nursery, and Lou is not short for anything. It's just Lou, and I've just had to learn to like it.
Where's your hometown?
Right here I started in Casey at age 2. I was born in Kingsport, Tennessee. My father was transferred here when I was 2, so I have definitely a South Carolina accent. And I grew up all over Lexington County, whether it be Casey or Irmo or Lexington. I'm a Lexington County girl.
Nice. What interests did you enjoy as a child?
I started my early years actually in the 6 and unders just before I turned 3 on the swim team.
Oh.
Loved swimming, and from there I moved into, of course my mother wanted me to take all kinds of things. I took dance at Calvert Brody from age 3 through, middle school, and then I spent my high school years cheering for the Lexington Wildcats, and big sports fanatic. I still am. I am a huge Gamecock fan.
Oh, good.
My nickname, which is actually better than Lou, is Cockadoodle-Loo. So, we're all about the Gamecocks in our family.
Well, tell me about your education. So you went to Lexington High.
Yes, I graduated high school in 3 years and started South Carolina just about 2 weeks after I turned 17. And I finished college in 3.5 years. I have a journalism degree. My concentration is in public relations. And I have a minor in marketing from the business school. And I'm one of the few people that can honestly say I use my degree every single day.
Wonderful. Well, take me through your career path, starting with what you thought maybe you would be doing when you graduated from college.
Well, I think I should start earlier than that.
Please do.
I started probably about the age of 9 or 10 selling vegetables out of our garden to the neighbors and the church members. So I've always been in sales, I'd like to say. In some capacity or another. I've sold everything from office equipment to homes to services to all kinds of things. So I think this background in sales certainly works right in tandem with the public relations major, and then certainly helps me with what I do today, whether it be negotiating contracts or special event planning or all the things that it takes to operate a company like Nephron. And I started out, after I finished high school, I moved on to the university and really thought I might like to go into broadcast journalism, but decided it's too much work on this accent. So I said, I'll stick with the PR track, and I had a wonderful advisor, and many people know that I care quite a lot for her and how her influence over me helped to shape, I think, what I am today. And it's been a nice, long ride. I feel like I've accomplished a lot. I'm not that old, but I feel like in dog years, I'm quite old. And so, at any rate, I look forward to what the future has to bring and what we get to accomplish at Nephron. And everything I've done up to this point is just a nice, solid base for that.
Would you consider that advisor a mentor of yours? Was there any advice that he or she gave you?
Well, I've told the story before, but I think there was just her persona. She, number one, whenever we'd be working on any kind of counseling session, she'd always say, you know what, you're going places, you can do things. You're going to be able to accomplish a lot in life. Now, I'm sure she probably said that to every student, but I thought she meant it was personal to me.
Absolutely.
So if she believed in me, surely I must be able to accomplish things. And so I thought she was just super cool. She had a briefcase. She worked in big Atlanta, Georgia, at a big PR firm in Colony Plaza. I remember thinking this must be the greatest thing that ever happened to any female, and surely I could do this someday. And little did I know I'd be doing what I do today. But she was a great influence, and I often mention that when I'm around any of the faculty at USC. You just don't know how you touch a student's life. Yeah. And I'm sure somehow, some way, she's probably looking down going, I never knew.
What advice would you give a young businesswoman?
Well, I definitely have a different approach than the era I was raised. So in the 60s or, mid to late 60s and 70s, I believe a woman's earning power was typically to augment the family livelihood.
Right.
Whereas now, you better figure out how to be a breadwinner. It's certainly a two-income family is almost a necessity these days,
Yes.
and certainly if you have children, to put them through college and the costs associated with just life today. But I've said this a couple of times before. I like this new book, Lean In, but I'm much more of the cloth of dive in.
Interesting.
I think that women shouldn't hold back. We're basically raised to be nice and facilitate what's going on around us. But frankly, I think it's okay to encourage young women to just take control, take charge. And all of the young women that work around us today and certainly close to me, I continually encourage them, own this, take control. Don't wait for a man, another woman, or anybody to tell you what to do. Own it.
Nice.
So.
What's a typical day for you?
Well,
as you dive in.
Right. Right now, it's pretty much sun up to sundown in and around this new facility. We are hoping to call for our certificate of occupancy tomorrow over the entire project. That'll be a huge milestone to pass, and certainly we'll be able to turn the page, and that'll begin chapter 2. Because then, construction is, for all intents and purposes, fairly complete, and then we've moved into let's run the equipment and create some revenue, which is ultimately the goal of all business owners. So I feel like, it's anything. I mean, I might go from a meeting about something is not functioning properly on the equipment. It could be our clean rooms aren't test and balancing correctly. Just anything that touches the pharma manufacturing are pretty much what happens in the course of a day right now.
Yes, of course. Piled on top of birthing the new baby that's here in
Exactly,
Casey, yes.
And that's the way we look at it.
Yes, yes.
It's often been said, my husband has 2 daughters. I have 1 daughter who happens to be a student at USC, and we call Nephron the 4th family member, or the 4th daughter, and frankly, the 4th daughter gets the most attention.
Tell me, what are you known for?
Well, not shyness, that's for sure. I would say that if you ask my friends in almost any town in which I've ever lived, I am like a human tornado. Or they call my husband and I the perfect storm. So if that's a good analogy, I think that's probably the most appropriate thing.
Absolutely.
I'm 100 miles an hour pretty much if I'm awake.
So Nephron is headquartered in Orlando.
Yes.
But what about South Carolina brought you back?
Well, my husband and I were fortunate enough to win the Order of the Palmetto. This was 2011, I believe, maybe 10 or 11. And at the time, Governor Haley said, would you 2 ever consider bringing business back to your home state? And I quickly said, stranger things have happened, who knows? And that was literally in June, and in fall of that year, the tides had completely changed. We had fully anticipated building in Florida. We bought the land. We had all of the plans, all of the engineering drawings, everything stamped and ready to be submitted to the city of Orlando. And 2 days before we were to walk in, something happened. It lit a fire, so to speak. I called a friend in economic development here in South Carolina, Sam Conduras. Sam, what should I do? He directed me to Jennifer Noel at Department of Commerce, quickly Andre LeBlanc, Mike Briggs of Central South Carolina, came down to, made a quick visit to Orlando, started talking about all the great things that South Carolina had to offer. Of course, it's almost ironic in the sense because you're from there. My husband and I are both South Carolinians. You know what the state is all about, but you had no idea amazing things that are going on in the Department of Commerce and under this current administration that is so pro-business. And you start hearing about the incentives and the training that's available through Ready SC and how close the partnership between the tech schools here in the state and new industry and existing industry for that matter, what they can do to help you get into business and facilitate permitting, facilitate regulatory pathways. SCANA has been amazing. They are a neighbor next door and down the street, and they've been wonderful. To think that we have a railway that backs up to a spur that backs up to our property. We're putting in a rail yard to accommodate 10 rail cars. We'll be able to receive our biggest raw material, which is low-density polyethylene and other types of plastic. All of those things just really made just the perfect package for us, and it became apparent to us that if we made any other decision, it wouldn't be a prudent one. It wouldn't be the right business decision.
Wow, that's powerful stuff.